Life does not always go as planned. You may be on plan B, C, D, E, F, or G, and that's okay. Life can be beautiful and messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. After crying on my kitchen floor for nearly 2 years when my first husband left, I found my plan B and a depth of resilience I didn't even know I had. I'm Beth Montpas, life coach. Have you ever needed to really reinvent yourself? I redesigned my life by allowing my feelings, forgiving and accepting myself in the new reality, really surrendering. Plus, connecting with others. We don't have to do it alone. Reframing our negative thoughts and emotions, and by not looking too far down the road. Now, I have an incurable joy and zest for life. My favorite hashtag is, what if it's better? If you're looking for motivation and inspiration with other resilient, fun, successful midlife women, keep listening to the Pain to Power podcast. You'll meet amazing women who dropped being the victim and found victory. Listen in to create a spark in you to navigate this wild ride called life that comes with living full out. Hello, Kelly is here on the Pain to Power podcast, and I'm so excited to spend a little time with an entrepreneur, with a woman who sees possibility. Kelly, you are I would call a marketing strategist and an email marketer from Wisconsin, a Midwest girl. And what else would you like to say about your introduction?
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. When I am speaking, I'm going by the name Kelly Lanes. And so if you want to check me out, go to kellylanes.com. And also, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I also own, aside from Caffeine with Kelly, which is my first business, I also own Trifecta Group Coaching, which is with 2 other entrepreneurs. And it's beautiful and really uplifting other entrepreneurs throughout their journey through strategy and all things. So
what's your journey? Where did you come from that you're now doing this?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. How far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you want to go, girl.
Sure. You know what? I will start in 2nd grade. So my dad plays a huge role in my life, bless him, but he had taken me to work with him, like a bring your daughter to work day scenario. And he's a CFO. And he brought me to a board meeting with him and handed me a spreadsheet, just like everyone else. I sat in one of those big chairs with a long boardroom table, and I just colored in the spreadsheet for the hour, because what else are you going to do as a little girl, right? And so we left. He brought me to the marketing department and said, you know what? I don't think you need to sit in meetings with me for the rest of the afternoon. Check out the marketing department. And they had drawings everywhere and red tape, and their computers had ads on them. And I was like, this is the place. It's visual and beautiful and artsy. Fast forward till about 7th grade is when I was able to take business classes. And I started taking business and marketing classes then, and then all through high school, and then went to college for business and marketing, and then climbed the corporate ladder for a few years, and now we're here. That is an abbreviated journey of mine, but that is how I started. It was really my dad seeing that in me and throwing me to the marketing wolves and me being accepted as a little.
I love that you are in gratitude for that parenting and opportunity. And I too have parents that were entrepreneurs, and I looked at it as they got to pay their own health insurance. They got to do that. I didn't grow up with the safety of corporate. So I love hanging out with entrepreneurs. One of the things you shared with me is a bumpy road of entrepreneurship leads to the good stuff. So tell us some of your bumpy road. And because again, the podcast is about our pain and like things that didn't go right. Because what I see now is this bright light, this light where you're willing, it's light and fun, that marketing doesn't have to be hard, that entrepreneurship doesn't have to be alone. And so to really
understand your journey, share some of the bumps. What didn't go right?
Sure. So when I was in corporate life, I kept trying to go to different organizations. The grass is going to be greener over here. The grass is going to be greener over here. And in my last corporate role, I was under women leadership. And I thought this is going to really change my life. I'm going to be able to learn from women leadership that really want to cultivate the other women to build them up as other leaders. And that just wasn't the case. And so for years, I felt like squashed and not important and not valued, but I needed a job, right? So you're stuck here. And all of a sudden, March 2020 hits and the world stops. The pandemic comes. For about a year before that, I was applying to other jobs. And now when the pandemic hits, no one's hiring for marketing. Most people are firing marketing because they don't see a huge value in it, which is unfortunate. And if anyone's listening and you don't see value in marketing, let's become friends because I'd love to tell you all about it. So I couldn't find another job. And it got to about September of 2020. And I called my fiance at the time and I said, honey, I really think I need to quit this job. Like I'm waking up every morning crying before I even log in to check on what's happening for the day because I was feeling so squashed in that role. And he said, okay, this is the amount of time we have before you need another job. We can do this. And I said, okay, as long as you're sure. So September 2020, I put in my 2 weeks, literally never looked back. In December, we got married within this time. So we got married in October, November, and then December came and I was on the phone with a mentor of mine. And for the last couple of years, I had done some like social media and marketing strategy work for a local cafe in town where I'm from, and then also a gym. And so I got a free gym membership and I got some free coffee every time I went into the cafe just for fun. And my mentor said, Kelly, are you still doing that? Are you still trading services with those companies? I'm like, yes, of course. Like, how else am I supposed to keep my marketing knowledge fresh and serve people? And he goes, okay, why don't you do that full time? And I was like, no way. This guy's like an entrepreneur of 20 years. I'm like, I'm not you. There's no way. And I got off the phone and I started thinking about it. And then I started praying about it. And I'm like, wait a second. Maybe I could do this. And I walk into my husband's office and I said, okay, I have a crazy idea. And I said, Caffeine with Kelly was a blog of mine that was actually hidden. No one could read it. It was just like a fun outlet for me. And I said, I think I'm going to take Caffeine with Kelly and I'm going to make it a huge brand. And then I'm going to serve people the way that I want to, where I'm not feeling squashed, but I'm able to really give that joy of marketing to the world like I want to. And he said, of course you're going to do that. That is what you're made for. Of course, let's go. And I literally dropped on my knees and was like, oh my gosh, we're doing it. And it was incredible. So that was December 2020. I didn't look back. We're almost 2 years in. And I always say, God bless the broken road that led me here, because at every stage, my friend Bethany Clemenson always says, there's a devil at every level, right? So you'll get somewhere and then all of a sudden you'll hit a roadblock. And every time I hit a roadblock, from now moving forward, I don't want to let that stop me. Because if I can't show the utmost joy and love for people and to serve them in the way that I want to, I don't want to do it. So if I hit a roadblock and whatever it is, I'm always like, nope, what does future Kelly need? And what does future Kelly, how do you see her? And I go that route always. And so regardless what that is, you get a client and really need the money. So you take it, but they need everything under the sun and they don't want to pay for it and they're being rude. I will cultivate that to a point, and then I'm like, okay, you're incredible, but I'm going to pass you off now because my mental health and my brand needs to be open for something better and something that's going to give back to me, because I love to pour into others. And so I think entrepreneurship for me, honestly, I met you through Clubhouse, the app. I met hundreds of people through Clubhouse, and I give a lot of gratitude to them. Like one day when I make my millions and millions, I'll probably invest into Clubhouse because it's done so much for me and my business. And then in March 2022, I started Trifecta Group Coaching with Monica Van Landingham and Monica Allen and I. And ever since then, we've been serving clients on all things business, social media, and marketing strategy. And it's been incredible. So I think it's just one of those God bless the broken road moments and not saying no to a lot of things anymore.
Yeah, I don't hear any poor me. I hear you have an open stance and like ready to see, God, what are we doing today? Kind of thing.
Totally. Yep.
And talk a little bit more about this. Did you call it bigger Kelly or a higher Kelly? Or because I think that there's something there for our listeners.
Yeah, older Kelly. So when I am faced with a decision, no matter how big or small, I always think about, okay, little Kelly, like baby Kelly, second grade Kelly, would she be proud if I chose A or B? And then likewise, I think of older Kelly and what A or B is going to do for her. And I think there's so much power in thinking of yourself, especially in future sense, because where you have goals and dreams, I every day want to make decisions that is going to make future Kelly proud because I can't make future Kelly proud without actively thinking about her every day. And so I do that all the time, all the time.
I love that, future Kelly. I'm not sure how I feel about older Kelly because as I'm in my 50s, I'm
Future,
thinking,
oh no, you're perfect. No.
I like the future because there's
Future.
always the next level. There's
Mhm.
always a place to grow to. How does future Kelly? That's just a good filter for us to use. But there is fear. There is so much fear in being an entrepreneur. It's hard to hit post when you've got something written up that's vulnerable, whether you're just sharing your life or you're asking for something or you're sharing about a program or a product you want to give to the world or sell to the world. So there's so much fear in hitting post or sending out that email. How do you handle fear?
Oh gosh, this is the best question that you've ever asked. My word of the year this year is fearless. And so I've really been taking fearless to the next level, especially when it comes to how you show up online, because every brand is different. Every brand is special, and you were blessed with certain gifts that other people don't. So even though there's millions and millions of marketers in the world, not everyone can serve the same as me, and I can't serve the same as someone else. So if there is power in a story, as an example, there are times when I'm traveling to go see a client and something happens in the airport that makes me sad. There's a delay. I'm angry. Sometimes I'll write an email about what's happening in that moment and talk about how I literally mentally overcame it. I bought a coffee. I filled myself with joy. And I send out an email like that really humanizes myself and my brand. A lot of people I've found resonate with that type of message. I like to think about it in a stance of who are your potential clients or customers or just your subscriber base or your followers? And sometimes what do they need to hear? Because do they need to hear, oh, I have a brand new coaching program? Or do they need to hear, I built this coaching program because I was there 2 months ago when I needed this. So now I'm making something because it's vulnerable to me and it's going to be vulnerable to you and I can see results. That is such a different energy besides, here's a new 3-month program. Hope you like it.
I love it. You also said about humanizing yourself. And that's what I see that you've done so beautifully is that you sometimes send out an email that is just about your delicious coffee or how you stop to enjoy a coffee. So talk to me about, without getting totally brandy on our talk, but just like you have woven your love for coffee with what you do so that you have, I just don't see that happening very often, this marrying of something. So really humanizing yourself. How can the rest of us do that? How did you do it?
Oh gosh, yes. So when I chose Caffeine with Kelly as my brand, it's because I swear half of my body is coffee. I believe in a different life, I probably was coffee. So for me, it is so natural to talk about coffee, to be drinking coffee, like literally constantly. Also, you should drink water. It's very good for you and nourishing for your soul. Anyway, however, when you can find something, maybe it's something little. Let's say you're a brand that's in Florida and you get to leave your house and go to the beach for a day. Maybe it's a Tuesday afternoon and you get to go to a beach for an hour. That humanizes the fact that you've worked really hard so that you're able to live that life, even if it's one day a week, where you get to go be in your happy place, aka the beach. If you show people more human aspects where you're pulling emotions, and maybe it's something as little as, Beth, you tell people what your favorite coffee beverage is, and they get to connect on that because there are millions of people out there that also love coffee. Or maybe you have a puppy, right? There are millions of people that also have a dog. And when you get to pull emotions into your marketing messages, into just messages in general, people connect and then they will remember you. So there are, like I said earlier, millions of marketers out there, but I built Caffeine with Kelly in such a way that it literally marries marketing, positivity, and coffee. If they all had a baby, that's what I wanted to do. And I get all the time people DMing me saying, I'm at a cafe and I'm thinking of you, which is really touching because that's what I wanted. I wanted people to feel warm and happy and joyful because that's what coffee brings to me. And that's what I hope through my marketing efforts I can bring to other people.
I hear such authenticity of who you are. And so by sharing what you're really excited about and connecting them at times, and sometimes just talking about what lights you up is bringing that joy and excitement.
Right.
How can people connect in with you to get a little bit of this excitement, to get in on this caffeinated with Kelly joy?
Oh, I love it so much. Thank you. You can find me on caffeinewithkelly.com. You can also find me at kellylanes.com. And then on Instagram and most social medias, either at Caffeine with Kelly or at the Kelly Lanes.
I will give you the final word on those people that are listening that things aren't going as joyful for them in their entrepreneurial effort, whether it's raising money or it's getting a message out to the world, or even in their personal life where things are messy and they're still in their pain quite a bit. What's a message that you would give them that has supported you?
I would say joy, no matter how big or how small, always breeds more joy. And it's okay to have joy married with sorrow and sadness and pain because this is life and life is hard. And so you can go through pain and you can cry. You can cry it out and then go and refresh your coffee. And that is what's bringing you joy in that moment. Those little endorphin hits that you can get, no matter what they are, will breed more of them. And so when it comes to business, every morning I start my morning with a meditation and journaling so I can brain dump my brain and get everything out. And then I will grab a hot cup of coffee and sit down with my email. And it's just a kind of joy, jump into work, what's happening today. So maybe that'll serve someone is when you're going through something, or maybe you have to work on a project that is a little yucky or what have you, marry it with something that brings you joy.
I hear you holding all the things at one time. Because I think sometimes in life we wait till we are through the hard thing or we see a bright light or something great happens to us. And what I hear you saying is go for the little wins, whether it's the color that you love or the coffee, and really looking for the joy. And that is how you and I have met, is on our Cup of Joy Clubhouse. And I'm grateful to that room and to that app. So if you want to join us, any listeners, Cup of Joy on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Central Time, we're there every week. Kelly, keep being you in the world and showing up as your authentic self, marrying little things like a yummy coffee with what you're up to around marketing. And I'll put in the notes how you can follow Kelly. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it.
I'm so grateful you tuned in to another episode of Pain to Power podcast. Each month, I'm committed to bringing you juicy, raw, real life stories and shine a light on the women whose lives are often very messy, and yet they dropped being a victim to their life circumstances and stood in victory in their thoughts and emotions. I love to inspire and motivate women to love their life. If you want to receive more inspiration, come play in my private Facebook group called Best Life Tribe for inspiration on the daily, or join my email list for connections, strategies, and tips. Join at bethmontpas.com. I am a certified coach, trainer, and speaker. I lead inspiring private and small group workshops, resulting in authentic coaching in a vibrant community. I host personal and group retreats as well as virtual gatherings designed to ignite your life and get you back to loving your life. Let's get social. Connect with me on Facebook at Beth Montpas Coach, or Instagram at Beth Montpas, or on LinkedIn at Beth Montpas.